He said to me once, we had a really tough day in the tank, about, 18 hours. It was tough, nothing was going right. It was just one of those days, and, everyone's getting a bit frustrated, and you could feel it in the air. And he said, well, we don't have to be here. We want to be here, and he wants to take that time. He goes, we can go and do something else, Sam. He goes, I can go and do something else. So when a guy's that passionate about it, I want to work for people like that.
Action.
Sam, Cliff, how you doing? How you feeling?
Good, thank you. Yeah,
good.
great.
Yeah, good. I've got to say, I am pumped to get back to Pandora. I'm sure fans of the first film will be feeling exactly the same. It looks absolutely insane. Like, it reminded me of that first film. And so you go back to 2009 when that came out, and like, to put it in perspective, Instagram didn't exist. People still had a choice between having a Nokia phone or an iPhone. So for Sam, for you making that movie, what did it mean for you at the time in your career, and then to see it take off and be such a success?
You don't think of it in those ways when you're making it. You can't. You're just thankful that you have a job, to be honest. And I was working with a guy whose track record was Titanic, Terminator, True Lies, Aliens. So to me, it was, he's the boss and I'm the soldier and I'll do whatever he needs me to do. And if the movie came out and connected, we would be thankful. There's no way you could actually, I remember Jim saying to us, science fictions are very hard to connect with. Some people don't like that genre. So it wasn't like we were arrogant enough to think that the movie was going to be as successful as what it was. So, and it's the same with this. You just hope that you've told a story that, yes, it's spectacular looking, but you hope that it has enough emotion and heart that it can resonate and make people want to keep coming back to it.
And for you, Cliff, you'd been in some amazing films before Avatar's release.
Yeah.
Did you remember seeing it in the cinema? What did you think about it as someone who worked in that industry?
I just knew that it was exceeded any expectation of what I thought was possible in cinema, and made perfect sense that it was James Cameron at the helm of that, Also, just in terms of storytelling, he cracked a number of codes in terms of creating that was something so fantastical, but so relevant to where we are in terms of human beings and how we treat ourselves and how we treat our environment. He's sort of like taking on big themes around ecology and colonization and, protecting your home. So I don't know how he triangulates that level of, that many layers of story, but, you're in the hands of a master storyteller when you watch his movies.
Yeah, that's right. This epic story out in the universe, but grounded in issues on Earth, which I think is not easy to do. And so for us average moviegoers, it's kind of felt like radio silence in terms of the sequel. But for you, that wasn't the case, Sam. Like, what were your conversations with James over the years? Like, at what point did you go, all right, this is real, this is going to happen?
Well, I know that Jim was, working with people on technology, and they were talking about things in 2013. Didn't really have the story as such. In 2015, I remember he invited me and my wife around to look at, basically they were starting to get into the stories of it and separate and write the scripts, and there was designs on the wall, and we spent like, a whole day just looking at the pictures of the movie. And then it was like, well, how are we gonna do that? And in 2017 was when we were all bought in and the craziness begins. And each day is problem solving. It's what Jim loves to do. Each day is a challenge. It's not like he knows how we're going to do this. So it sounds crazy to undertake a movie that way, but that's when he operates at his best, I think, when he sets himself a challenge. And we come in and we are part of that process. And each day is learning, and it's this labor of love that takes a decade. It's not rushed to quickly get the story out. He keeps holding on to it and trying to perfect it, and more challenges to tell a story that he's super proud of. Not just one to satisfy someone's tastes, but to tell something that is meaningful to him.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast. That's all they see.
I see.
What's extraordinary, though, I find, is that when I watch it, it's a perfect match for what was in the script. So somehow he set this impossible task, this goal, as you said, and then it's this battle of attrition to get to that perfect vision that he holds.
Like the scripts are very detailed, not only on the world, but on character, on how they look and emotion. It's almost like
he's already created the
in his
film
head.
in his mind, and then he's got to figure out how to make the reality match the vision in his mind, and he does.
Yeah, and then have
that's
the
what's
trust to let it evolve. You know, some directors, they just want to replicate what they've got on what they have on the page. Jim goes with this evolution because he invites all these other designers and artists in and listens to them, and it just keeps getting wilder and bigger and more of a spectacular ride.
Yeah, as a collaboration. It must be so exciting as actors to be a part of that environment. And for you, Cliff, you've been in blockbusters, you've been a part of huge franchises. Like, how did working with James Cameron on this set compare to other sets that you've worked on?
I think there's a sense of just connectedness on the set. We get that he's a genius and that he's brilliant and he's a master storyteller. That's a given, right? What I was taken aback by was how he's very much, you know, a part of the crew. You know, he's a part of every element of it. He's very hands-on. It's like, you know, he's proud of the fact that he used to drive trucks and, you know, he doesn't just ask us to get into the water. He's a free diver. You know, he's broken records free diving. So everything that he asks anybody on the set to do, he's probably done it to a very high degree. And so he's got this tactile sense of what he's doing. It's not just conceptual. He talks to you like a real person.
He loves making movies. I remember he said to me once, we had a really tough day in the tank, about 18 hours. It was tough, nothing was going right. It was just one of those days, and everyone's getting a bit frustrated, and you could feel it. And he said, well, we don't have to be here. We want to be here, and he wants to take that time. He goes, we can go and do something else, Sam. He goes, I can go and do something else. So it's the love of the job that keeps you. When a guy's that passionate about it, I want to work for people like that. I want to work for someone and be there for him. And I think that's what permeates in the set. Everybody wants to kind of help Jim get whatever's in his vision and help facilitate.
And both he and John Landau, I get this great sense of how much they care and value the people around them. That we're all in this journey together. That's the sense of family that's created.
And that's unusual on a film set, at this level.
No one's treated like they're expendable in any sense. Everybody's like, man, you're really important. We're all important here, and we're all a part of something. We're all going to work together to make it happen.
And so what do you both hope that people take away from this film in terms of like the fans who love the original? I've got a mate who saw it 7 or 8 times in the cinema. People who are coming to it for the first time. Like there's messages here about the environment, about refugees. Like what do you hope people walk away from Avatar: The Way of Water with?
I think simply that it's not that you're seeing a movie, that you're experiencing a movie. And you're experiencing a world, and you're experiencing love, and you're experiencing a story and characters in this journey. That's what cinema can give you when it's at its paramount, is this transportative experience into another world, into another person's shoes. And out of that, you leave the cinema and maybe take some of those lessons and put them into your own existence.
And that you have an emotional kind of connection with the characters and what they're going through. And I think he's got such a varying palette of these teenagers, you've got these young, cute kids, you've got this generation, your mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, and that what they're going through in a galaxy far, far away in Pandora is what we're going through as we try to figure out how to find love, protect love, and and have more love in our lives. And I think that's very, and an emotional sense, not just like in your head, like you have these feelings when you watch the movie. I'm surprised that I have an emotional response to what I look at when I'm looking at the film.
Yeah, Sam, Cliff, congratulations. People are going to be blown away by this film, just like they were the first one. Great talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.